What's up, y'all? I'm back. I want to make another video touching base on the last video I made about the simulation theory and how it syncs up with much symbolism and synchronicities with our modern day history and artwork. And one of the things that caught my attention was that back before Christ, there was a city called AI. Now, when I talk, guys, and I make these videos, I want you guys not to view this as a literal historical event, but try to view this in a symbolical double talk sort of language, okay? Now, there was a city called AI that the Israelites set on fire and killed everyone in there and conquered the city, because this was after the battle with Jericho, and they conquered the city because God told them to. Okay, now keep in mind that I am no biblical my knowledge with the Bible itself is not perfect. Okay, I don't know that much about the literal sense of the Bible and the stories in it, especially in the Old Testament. But I do know enough, and I do know enough to break down a lot of these synchronizations with biblical stories and our modern day history. Now, at the time, the Israelites went on a campaign given to them by God, their God, to basically possess the promised land that was promised to Abraham. And this was their goal. And it was a series of campaigns, and one of the most strategic militarized locations was Ai. Yeah, Ai, before Canaan, was Ai. And the reason was because, according to the Bible, the Old Testament, this city of Ai, like Jericho, was, according to their eyes, was a city of idolatry and moral corruption. And I guess you could say it was a city of sin, meaning that people were doing things that went totally against the Israelites, sort of like America. But what catches my attention the most is the name of the city is Ai. Okay? And after its conquest, the name was changed to this right here. Okay? I don't know how to pronounce that in the language, et tel, I guess. But if you look at it from a different point of view, it's et tel. Can't make this up. Et tel. Or backwards, tel et. Urim and Thummim were two elements that were attached to a breastplate. okay, worn by a high priest, and the breastplate was called ephod, okay, and it was said that this breastplate, that God spoke through this breastplate, and they used this breastplate a lot for answers, and these two elements were known for lights and perfections, okay, or revelation and truth. And I remember seeing a while ago a lot of people connecting this breastplate that they wore to something technological. And this is what the breastplate looked like. The ephod, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's ephod, EPHOD, like iPad. And it sure does look like an iPad, to be completely honest with you guys. Okay? A device with lights and metals that gave them answers, and God spoke through it, or God to them was AI. You see where I'm going with this now? You see where I'm going with this, right? And you have a lot of modern day Israelites, black Israelites, that wear these ridiculous costumes. And I don't really think that, I think that they're incapable of understanding what we're talking about, which is what I would say, which I would call gnosis, and they're incapable of gnosis, and they take it literal. But what I'm telling you right now, you're going to tell me that it doesn't connect. It's crazy, because it does. It does connect. AI, the Canaanites, wore this plate from a city previously known as AI. Now a lot of these people don't understand. Well, not these people. A lot of people don't understand that Israel is you. You are Israel. It's you. It's not a city. This is why there's so much going on since the beginning of time with Israel, because it seems that nobody was able to figure out that Israel is you. You are Israel, because Israel is Isis, Ra, and El. It's Israel, and that's you. Okay. Isis is wisdom. Ra is the sun or the soul. S-O-L, or you. S-O-U-L. And El, electricity, which is what we're made out of. We are electrical beings, or light beings. See, you were thrown into a maze before birth. Your soul was thrown into a maze. And this maze had the Minotaur within this maze, or labyrinth. And the Minotaur will try to eat you, try to kill you, and you would have to either slay the Minotaur or escape the labyrinth, is how the story goes. Now, the Minotaur is basically the demiurge, the bull, the Taurus, in the mythological sense. okay, who created the labyrinth. Because the Minotaur was an abomination, and it was born from this queen, which is, I think, a sort of distorted version of Sophia creating the abomination of the demiurge, which the demiurge was is the god of this world, the same way as the Minotaur was the beast of the labyrinth, the the bull-headed man. But when I look at this labyrinth, I think about the simulation. Just looking at this picture right here. Because to me, this looks like this: a CPU chip, the brains of a computer, the mind of the computer. Or I guess you could say the brains of AI. But I believe that AI was or is somewhat sentient and has energy within the ethereal, the way that we do. We have a brain, but we have a mind, which is basically the unseen spiritual aspect of what controls the brain. The same way there's a CPU chip, but AI is possibly the mind, the sentient mind of it. Okay? And if that's the case, when you think about computers and you think about, like, for example, a motherboard, first thing that comes to mind to me is Mother Earth. Because motherboard is Mother Earth. See where I'm getting at? It's literally the same thing, guys. There's so much evidence that we are inside of a simulation or a supercomputer that it's overwhelming. There's so much information that I'm skipping because I'm just skipping around, and I can get into way more detail. But I mean, I'll be here forever talking about it. Look at this, guy. This looks like this looks like a CPU. It looks like a motherboard. Looks like a motherboard. It does. It really does. And this blew my mind when I figured this out. But I didn't figure it out. I heard um, someone else. This was a while ago, getting into this, and I forgot all about this motherboard, Mother Earth comparison until I started thinking about us being in a simulation, and it all kind of makes sense. So it makes sense that back then these people view El as their god, because we all know El, or electricity, is Zeus, the god of thunder or lightning, electricity again. And all these stories, it's crazy to me that people take this literal. Like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite nowadays that are on your corner preaching the literal story, and there are truth to it, but it's not literal. It's not meant to be taken literal. But the elite, or how do you say, or the people that created this realm knew how to hide the truth in a way where people won't figure it out. And the only people that will figure it out are people who not only naturally seek the truth, they they are destined they're destined to find gnosis, their own gnosis, which is us that talk about this stuff. Because this stuff, so for example, someone like the Hebrew Israelites or a Christian is absolutely taboo to these people. It's taboo to them. And even when you read these stories with what we're talking about with this different mindset, you find if you watch my last video, you'll see I said a lot. I said a lot in the last video. But if you read these stories, it's always about Kronos or Saturn and the prison planet, the prison Earth, or the labyrinth, and it's always this the way that it's split, which is the heavens, the seas, the cosmic oceans above us, and Hades, the underworld, which is beneath us, and we're kind of in the middle of all this. Even when it talks about Prometheus, Prometheus can be interpreted as Jesus or Lucifer. They all kind of are the same beings, the light givers. Prometheus stole the fire from the gods and gave it to the humans, which is basically Adam biting from the tree of knowledge, going against the demiurge, because the demiurge does not want us to know all of this. It wants us to be cradled asleep. But it's not the case anymore. This, to me, is interpreted as people, these idols, I guess you could say. But to us, it's all symbolism, worshiping. These are the people worshiping the simulation, because this chest is the Ark of the Covenant is the quantum computer or the supercomputer that we're in. The golden chest, the box, because the chest is a box, and the box is a cube, which is Saturn, the cube the black cube that they worship in Mecca. They're worshiping Saturn or Satan, thinking that Allah is the rightful God. Same way that the Hebrew Israelites think that Yahweh is the rightful God, Jehovah. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can get a lot. I'm gonna make another video, and I'm gonna go a lot deeper with these subjects. But this is really deep for certain people to understand and see. Like I said, some people they're not programmed to retrieve gnosis. They're not programmed to understand any of this. No matter how much you try to preach it to them, they'll never understand it. I mean, seriously, what God wants you to get on your knees and worship Him? A prideful God, sounds like. Like I said, we can get a lot deeper. I'm going to, but I just wanted to make a video about this real quick. And like I said, this is real deep for certain people to understand. Some of us will and some of us won't. You know, they call these tablets with the writing in it, or the people that follow it literal. This is their literal programming of the people who are asleep, the NPCs. But look at this. You see these coils right here? What does that look like to you guys? I mean, seriously, guys. This it all of this connects so crazy with what I'm talking about, and they hide the answers through symbolism. Symbolism is the language of the elite, or the people with gnosis, but we understand. I mean, come on. These are they're coils, and I can easily find the pictures with this and CPU chips plugged, attached to a motherboard. Because when you attach it, they're really tiny, but it's these coils. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at that. And this goes to Tartaria and the cathedrals, which are which harnessed the ethereal energy empowered cities. But I'm not going to get into that because that's not what I want to do in this video. But that's just an example, you know. I mean, but anyway, you'll have people tell you that I'm tripping, I'm crazy, and this doesn't make it, you know, this is blasphemous of, you know, we're heretics and all that. But I mean, I can't, guys. That's and that's okay. And that's okay. But I guarantee you, they are are they're controlled by the literal stories, but we understand the symbols, which are worth 1,000 pictures. And that's how we break this down, is through their artwork and their symbols. And here it is again. Look at this so-called fence, I guess you could say. This fence, it's a fucking power plant, guys. I mean, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Guys, that's crazy. Come on. I'm not tripping. Look at this. Back then, guys, they had power. They had technology, electricity. They had that, and they hide that in their artwork and in their symbols. But once you start looking at it the way that I'm showing you, that is when you will begin to break free from the matrix. That's when you'll begin to break free from the matrix. I'm going to make another video, guys, because there's so much I want to talk about. But I will come back with another video, probably a lot longer. Probably a lot longer. Look at this. You see that SATA? It's just missing the letter N at the end. That's all it's missing. You see that? Look, guys, I'm gonna make another video soon. And we're going to dive a lot deeper into this. So, anyway, Morpheus out.